Hello everyone, my name is Harshita Jain and I'm currently an intern at LEXIS and Company. Today I'm going to discuss the concept of collective security mechanism. Now, collective security is a device of crisis management which postulates a commitment on the part of all the nations to collectively meet an aggression that may be committed by any state against another. War or aggression is viewed as a breach of international peace and security, and collective security stands for collective action by all the nations in defense of peace. Collective security stands for meeting any war or aggression by the creation of a global preponderance of power of all nations against this aggression. Collective security is also regarded as a deterrent against aggression insofar as it lays down the collective power of all the nations will be used to repel aggression or war against any state. It is based on the principle that aggression against any one member of the international community is an aggression against international peace and security. As such, it has to be met by the collective efforts of all the nations. Some of the features or characteristics of collective security are: first, a device of power management. Collective security is a device of power management or crisis management. It seeks to preserve international peace through crisis management in the event of any war or aggression in the world. Second, it accepts universality of aggression. Collective security accepts the violations of the security of a nation, are bound to accepts that the violations of the security of a nation are bound to occur, that wars and aggression cannot be totally eliminated from international relations. Then third is that all nations are committed to pool together their power for ending this aggression. Collective security believes that in the event of a violation of international peace by any aggression in any part of the world, all the nations are committed to pool their power and resources for taking effective steps against every aggression for restoring international peace. Fourth is the global preponderance of power. Collective security stands for the creation of universal or global preponderance of power involving all the nations for the maintenance of international peace and security. Under it, all the nations are ready to defend international peace and security through military action against aggression. Then fifth is it admits the presence of an international organization. Collective security presupposes the existence of an international organization under whose flag a global preponderance of power is created for ending this aggression. Then third, a sixth feature is the collective security system is a deterrent against war. Collective security can be effective deterrent against the state with aggressive designs. Under this system, each nation knows that any aggression against another nation shall be met by the collective power of all other nations. As such, no nation tries to commit aggression and war because it knows that such an action will invite collective security against collective security action against it. This realization acts as a deterrent against any war or aggression. Seventh feature is that aggression or war is the enemy and not the state which commits it. Finally, collective security regards aggression or war as the enemy and not the state which may resort to war or aggression. A collective security action is limited to the elimination of war. Aggression of or threat of war, it does not stand for the elimination of the state which commits this aggression. Its sole concern is to get the aggression vacated, to prevent the aggressor to gain out of its aggression, to restore the health of the victim of aggression, and to restore the international peace and security. Now, some of the criticism that is against collective security. First, it is idealistic in nature and scope. The concept of collective security is based upon certain idealistic assumptions, which makes it operationalization difficult. Like, for example, it assumes that there can be a complete international understanding regarding the nature of all threats or aggressions against international peace and security. Second, it is assumed that all the nations could come forward to name the aggressor and to take up collective security action against the aggressor. Now, but all the nations cannot be expected to join a collective security action. The second criticism is at times it is not possible to identify the aggressor. Another major defect in the collective security system is that it wrongly assumes that in the event of an aggression against any nation, the aggressor and the nature of its aggression can be really and easily identified. In practice, it is very difficult to determine and name the aggressor as well as to identify the nature of aggression. Often, the aggressor acts in the name of self defense and justifies its aggression as a defense action. Third criticism is that it admits war as a means. It is, self-negating in so far as it first denounces war or aggression as an illegal activity, and then it indirectly accepts that wars and aggressions are bound to remain present in an international relations. It wrongly believes the most effective way to deal with such situations is to undertake a collective security war. Then, fourth criticism is the rules out of neutrality in times of war. The concept of collective security system makes it an international obligation for all the nations to pool their resources and undertake the collective action in the event of an aggression. It is, as such, the rules out neutrality. Many nations, often prefer to remain away from war. It makes collective security an international obligation, and it wrongly assumes that all nations are willing to participate in such a war. Then, fifth criticism is the limited concept. The collective securities concept has laid down in the UN Charter and has two inherent limitations. It accepts the right of the states to undertake war as measure of self-defense against any aggression. In practice, this provision gives a legal basis to end aggression or war in the name of action in self-defense. Then, secondly, it also admits the right of the nations to establish regional defense pacts and organizations for protecting their security. It admits regional security systems as devices for preserving peace and security. The working of regional security system has in fact been a source of strain upon in national peace and security. Then sixth is the absence of a permanent international peacekeeping force. Another major limitation of the collective security system is the absence of a permanent peacekeeping force. It is only after a decision of the Security Council to take military action against an aggressor is taken that the constitution of a collective security military force are initiated. This process is so slow and difficult that it takes a lot of time to raise the force and press into service. The time gap between the date and the aggression and the date on which the United Nations is actually able to send its peacekeeping force for its during the peace is very big, and the aggressor gets all the time needed for reaping the fruits of aggression. Then, seventh criticism is a lack of provision for the termination of collective security action. Another drawback for the UN collective security system, is that whereas elaborate provisions have been laid down for implementing the system, there is no provision regarding the method of terminating the collective security action. Eighth criticism is a dependence on powerful states. One of the basic principles of collective security is that all states should have an equal say in arriving at collective security decisions. In actual operation, it fails to work on principle of equality. Powerful states always dominate collective security decisions and actions. In fact, only the powerful states can play an effective role in executing a collective security action. At times, the powerful state is reluctant to pull their power behind a collective security action which is not strictly conformed to their national decisions. And ninth criticism, that it can also be dangerous. The system is dangerous. It can transform a local war into a global war for involving all the nations. On the basis of these points, critics describe it is collective security system is an idyllic uh, is not really an idyllic limited system. So if that's all for today. If there are any doubts and queries, do mention them in the comment box. Thank you.